We have been discussing presidents, black people, and their civil rights. Now, presidents prior to the Civil War, we're really talking about presidents and their thoughts on slavery, thoughts and action as it relates to slavery. Okay. And this particular guest is Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America, the last president before the end of slavery. And we've discussed him before. And I know what you're thinking, right? He can't be so bad, right? He can't be so bad. At least not for his times. He's better than the men who were running around enslaving people at the time, right? But really, is that saying much? Like, how easy is it to be better than the men who were actually enslaving black people? But that's a different conversation. Let's talk about President Abraham Lincoln. One of the things that I thought we hadn't already discussed was that you remember the Dred Scott case, right? The Supreme Court said that black people were not citizens. Therefore, the United States Constitution did not apply to them. Shocker. Lincoln denounced that decision, right? You would think it'd be easy to denounce that decision. But at the time, it wasn't, because his predecessor, James Buchanan, was like, well, the Supreme Court said that black people aren't citizens, so what are you going to do? But Lincoln was like, ooh, that's wrong. That doesn't sound right to me. So, and he was a lawyer, so he would know, right? Yeah. As a lawyer, he defended a black woman in a criminal trial and helped 3 individuals escape convictions for harboring fugitive enslaved people. He represented his clients regardless of their racial identities to the best of his legal abilities and took seriously his responsibilities to them. He was like, I will represent you regardless of your color, and I will give you the best representation possible. However, known as the Great Emancipator, Lincoln did not originally intend to eliminate slavery. On August 21st, 1958, in one of his speeches in the famous debate with Stephen Douglas, Lincoln said, I have no purpose directly or indirectly to interfere with the institution of slavery in the states where it exists. I believe I have no lawful right to do so, and I have no inclination to do so. We'll come back to that. Lincoln did not believe in equal rights, and he said as much in a speech, again in a debate with Stephen Douglas, September 18th, 1858. He says, there is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the 2 races living together in terms of social and political equality. And inasmuch as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior, and inasmuch as any other man am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. When Lincoln was elected president, he did not receive any votes in the Deep South. Southern Democrats believed Lincoln's election posed a direct threat to slavery, and many immediately began planning secession, or, like South Carolina, seceded. By the time he gave his inaugural speech, 7 states, including South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas had seceded from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America. Part of Lincoln's inaugural speech was given to make the South feel better about Lincoln's plans regarding slavery. In fact, Lincoln kept that promise until he had no choice but to break it. Listen to the promise. Apprehension seems to exist among the people of the southern states that by the ascension of a Republican administration, their property and their peace, property being black people, and personal security are to be endangered. There has never been any reasonable cause for such apprehension. I declare that I have no purpose, directly or indirectly, to interfere with the institution of slavery in the states where it exists. I believe I have no lawful right to do so, and I have no inclination to do so. Of course, we all know that the Confederate States had trust issues and didn't believe Lincoln. They seceded anyways, and soon the Civil War began. Did you know that Lincoln believed in the colonization of black people, as in establishing a colony of free black people in Central America? Yeah. Speaking on behalf of white people, Lincoln said, "There is an unwillingness on the part of our people, harsh as it may be, for you free colored people to remain with us. If intelligent colored men, such as you before me," he's talking to the black leaders, "would move in this matter, much might be accomplished. It is exceedingly important that we have men at the beginning capable of thinking as white men." He's literally telling black leaders, listen, white people don't like you. So I'm thinking, just a thought, that y'all leave the country. We have another country, listen, just hear me out, made just for you. I'm talking beautiful sunrises, beautiful sunsets, the temperature, the climate, oh, gorgeous. Made it just for you, okay? We think you would like it better. So, if y'all head out first, your people would follow you. And we're thinking, hear me out. It would be best if y'all go first, since you black men think like us white men. How does that sound to you? The black leaders said, "I think the fuck not. We are not leaving a country where our blood is literally seeped into the ground. So, no. But thank you for trying, okay? Thomas Jefferson tried it. We told him no too. So, next." 5 days later, Abraham Lincoln gets into it with Representative and abolitionist Horace Greeley, who argued that Lincoln had not done enough to end slavery. August 19th, Greeley published an impassioned editorial calling for Lincoln to free all enslaved individuals under the Union's control, which is really everybody. Lincoln was like, listen, my paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and it is not either to save or destroy slavery. I've been saying it this whole time, okay? So stop it. If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. What I do about slavery and the colored race, I do because I believe it helps to save the Union. I have here stated my purpose according to my view of official duty, and I intend no modification of my oft expressed personal wish that all men everywhere could be free. So I'm going to need you to get your nose out of my business. Now, he probably said it differently than that, but you get my drift. Again, Lincoln was not about freeing the enslaved people. It was never his intention to free the enslaved people. It was never his intention to end slavery. He was solely focused on keeping the Union intact. He was solely focused on ending the war. That was the only reason he ended slavery, because he needed to end the war. That's it. We call him the Great Emancipator. For what?